Good morning, friends and foes. What we have is the remnants of what had been about, I don't know, let's say 5,000 documents of evidence that because of theft, well, manipulated against me. These are the last two things that I have, by the way, my parents, my life. The last two things right there. But in terms of what documentation I still have that wasn't stolen from me last month by Mary Parent slash Mary Smutnik, obviously a CIA operative that infiltrated my life about a dozen years ago out of Connecticut. I still have, as I was moving from Utah to Connecticut with her, promise, oh, we'll live together for 6 months and I'll help you. She knew I was going to file this long overdue federal case, and that I've been actually working on since about '09, in preparation to file my lawful notification letter of intent to sue and blah, blah, blah. But I've been railroaded with false police arrests multiple times every year since 2010, beat up by the police and the courts and the entire judicial system. And that goes state to state. Connecticut since 2010. But the documents that I have from the state of Connecticut, this was the Office of Protection for Persons with Disabilities. I reached out to them regarding my issues with the Torrington police beating me up, and their records and the emails, and then also there's the Department of Banking that, of course, is unbelievable in terms of my banking complaint. But what I have pulled off just and I didn't know what I grabbed when I got dumped by Perry. I'm sorry, why do I call her Mary Perry? Mary Smutnik, Mary Parent. But between the Housing Authority of the City of Torrington personnel file, that's the only thing that Congressman, now Senator Chris Murphy, did in constituent services, which I had already put in the FOI request for my HUD file. And since I wasn't a HUD employee, by the way, why did HUD have all of these documents? These are my Torrington Housing Authority documents. That's not the HUD. The HUD Fair Housing Complaint documents are still with Mary Smutnik. But in terms of what I have here from the Department of Banking, and this outfit here, which is now not part of the state of Connecticut, they went some sort of non-profit, quasi-government, something or another, but it's called, I forgot what they call this outfit now, but boy, it's got the same, all of them have got the same rats in it. Between what HUD did and et al., through Connecticut Housing Finance Authority and the courts, Connecticut Judicial Branch, to steal my home of 20 years. And I have all of the records to move forward with my fraud upon the court, RICO. Like I said, this is happening. They didn't get away with it. They all got caught. I've been telling them for years. I carted this backpack around. It was a box. I put it all in my backpack. You should have seen me homeless in several cities and shelters, walking around with this 50-pound box and then backpack, along with my service animal and a bag of clothes that I brought with me on my trip. And it was I almost lost it and left it behind, or it could have been easily stolen. But somehow, miraculously, through the divine grace of God, I still have this stuff here that I can continue to put together my case. I was almost ready to file. I was going literally from Utah to Connecticut to New Haven Federal District Court. I've been taking a sue-along class under Lawful Living, Friends in Law, my friend Malika, our friend, and we were ready to launch. Not only the case, but also criminal complaints. I've been detailing this for years. And every time I'd get close enough and, it was the right FOI request that they knew they got caught, oh boy, off I'd go with another police incident. All fabricated police incidents. I want to show you something here now. This was from my personnel file. This woman was one of the tenants. She was an applicant that I fought for. And in fact, he's a judge now, Andrew Roraback, in Connecticut Superior Court out of Waterbury or Danbury. This wise guy, Andrew Roraback, was the state rep in Connecticut. Then he went to Connecticut state senator, and he lost his bid for Congress. He was beat out by Elizabeth Esty, and now Johanna Hayes has that seat. But Connecticut Congressman Murphy had that seat before he became senator, and now him and Senator Chris Murphy out of Connecticut and Senator Richard Blumenthal, Connecticut Supreme Court Justice Andrew McDonald, three Connecticut Attorney Generals from '06 through present. That was Dick Blumenthal and George Jepson, and now William Tong. And then, of course, we've got Utah involved now since 2019, and directly with their hands in the cookie jar of HUD and IRS low-income housing tax credit. But look at this poor woman. She was an elderly woman, and her application for the Torrington Towers was rejected. And it was either her and or other families that had contacted Roraback at the time. And Roraback knew me before he was even elected, because we worked together on the Northside Terrace Graham Village property. I ended up being the vice president when we incorporated the John Kelly Housing Corporation that bought and purchased the 92-unit mixed income development right behind the Torrington High School. And actually, I earned 3 college credits at UConn that year under a job study for my work. That for 6 months, I was a Torrington affordable housing part-time tenant organizer. And that was prior to my position over there at the Housing Authority. But I went to the Housing Authority to manage 428 units, which, by the way, check this out. And this is the kind of stuff that we were dealing with there. Didn't even get a job description until '04. And that was only because I pushed for it, because I was getting a lot of workplace bullying. Now, why does this say Torrington Housing Authority occupancy specialist? And this is how they usurped what's in a name. The name of my employer is not and has never been, outside of this fraud, named the Torrington Housing Authority. I worked for the Housing Authority of the City of Torrington. And the fact that they managed to usurp this, but these were my duties. We've got nothing but fraud and fraud upon the court. And yes, I am filing that specifically as a cause of action. I know it's claimed to be difficult to prove, but I've been collecting evidence for 20 years on this. And it's all sitting right in front of me because these clowns here, local police department. Okay, so we got some problems down here, and you know, the name of the problem is not Mary Bagnashi, except for all of the ones that I'm going to hold their feet to the fire, to their laws, statutes, codes, ordinances, rules, regulations, city charters, proclamations. Did I say that already? I'm holding them to their crap, the way they have me, claiming that, I farted in Torrington. Oh, let's get her, boys. We've got that going on since 2010, disabling me. And I never farted. So, well, at least not as far as accusations were concerned. But this is not over. It's far from over. In fact, it's just beginning. Because these people will all be on a witness stand. I'm naming every single one of them in their public and private capacity, and I will go after every single one of their private assets as they went after mine. I lost everything. This is what I'm down to. This is what I own, folks. What a miracle that out of the last two things that I have inherited from my parents, this is it. It's all I've got. And I wouldn't have taken anything but those two things. Trust me, and that was just by the grace of God that I still have them. And there's stories behind that, why it's so important to me as well, but we're not done yet. We're far from done. Love you all. Keep going. Keep up the good fight, guys.